What is going on, everybody? It's Alex back here with another video, and today we are doing for the first time a second round on the mock draft. I hope you guys did enjoy the first round. Just uploaded it not too long ago, so click the video if you guys haven't already. Watch the first round so you guys understand what's going on in this one. Obviously, you guys want to take the cheap route. Feel free to look at all of these amazing picks right here. It was a fun round. It was a really fun round, so I'm excited to test out what it's like to be in round two. Gotten a bit more acquainted with these players, started seeing a little bit more of what they're going to be doing. Spencer Rattler falling was not something I expected, to be 100% fair, but it happened. It's all good. But let's kick it off. The Jets, they got Trent McDuffie as well as Evan Neal. That is wonderful. That's a great start to this team. And there's a lot of really talented edge players still on the board, which is excellent. Like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm not 100% sure if the Jets have a second round pick. They do. I'd be targeting probably a tight end with that one. They have nothing there. They even cut Kenny Yeboah. It just sucks because I was a huge fan of Kenny, and he was actually doing a really good job. Obviously, there's a lot of really good tight ends in this class. Even Josh Wiley, somebody who I'm going to be bringing him down a little bit. Again, he's not having that progression that I thought he would. Still a dominant player, very under the radar, just doesn't put up enough. Not worth it at the top of this round. I'm looking at two positions. I'm looking at linebacker, which you still got Devin Lloyd here, which is honestly, the more I look at it, the more I actually want to pick it, as well as edge. I think Drake Jackson's a bit overrated. He's actually not having too shabby of a year. I think he has 6 pressures, including 4 against Oregon State. So got to factor that in. Oregon State's not great, but there's some really good players still in here. You can even look at where's the guy? Boye Mafe is somebody who's actually pretty under the radar. Not as a day 2 pick, but you still have some guys like Tyreek Smith in there that have that upside. Running back is certainly something I'd also look at here. I don't know why he's getting so much hate, but Breece Hall to me is a fringe first rounder. And that's me, who I don't like putting running backs in my first. I didn't have any, if I'm not mistaken, in my first last year. And I think Breece Hall is better than all of them. He's a really talented back. Certainly somebody who I'm looking to pick up right now. But I think that you do have to go with an all-around linebacker, a captain on your defense, edge. You're going to be getting healthier. You're going to be bringing guys back. Devin Lloyd out of Utah is a fringe first-rounder, redshirt senior, so he's going to be a bit older. But this is a team that needs a captain. I don't know how much longer CJ Mosley's going to want to be there. Jared Davis has been injured and honestly uninspiring. Devin Lloyd is an all-around linebacker that is the perfect captain of your defense. Your offense is being fixed up. Now fix your defense as well. You got your starting corner as well as your starting linebacker. Getting 3 picks, getting 3 high-end starters is something that you desperately need and something you guys got. So cheers to the Jets for doing that. Number 34, you got the Jaguars here. And there's a couple routes we can go. I'm looking at Drake Jackson here as a fun one, but Jordan Davis as an interior defensive lineman could be a big addition to this team. It just sucks because I really want to give them an offensive lineman. The offensive line is not too good. And it's just, I'm looking at this. Zion Nelson, somebody who I honestly might consider here. Theron Mumford's literally playing guard. Nicholas Petit-Frere, if I don't know if that's actually how you say it, I think he's the guy who actually took Thayer's job. I think there's a new kid who took his job. Nicholas played the other side. There's some new kid who came in and took Thayer's job. So obviously not going to be selecting him as a fringe first tackle. Trevor Penning's an interesting one. You guys do like to reach on these tackles with a lot of upside. You look at Walker Little there. Something I would consider here as well, Daniel Faalele. Really good prospect. There's a lot of good prospects, but they're not great prospects. And you just, like the guys who have high upside, you look at Trevor Penning and Daniel Faalele, they just don't have enough to show you that they're worth it yet. That's just the big issue right now. Tight end's another one where we can go right now. We could do it. But I think the best value is on the interior. Jordan Davis and Haskell Garrett and Perry and Winfrey are the 3 guys who I'd feel comfortable taking day 2. I think that's worth it. I think Jordan Davis being able to plug up the middle, you need to be able to stop the run in the first place. You got a lot of rangy players that are very good in the pass game. You got to get something there in the middle. Taven Bryan, not good enough. I think Jordan Davis would be a really key addition to the team, very Urban Meyer-esque as well. To just really stuff the run and be able to allow your playmakers to be playmakers. You got Kyle Hamilton now. Now you got Jordan Davis. Fix that defense. We'll be able to tweak the offense. Again, this is a defensive heavy draft. Okay, so now we're on to the Texans, and there's a couple routes I want to go here. I'm looking at Mikael right here, somebody who's a really good value at this point. I think that his upside is worth taking. And again, the only reason he doesn't look that great is because we have an amazing stacked corner class. It's honestly unbelievable that Mikael Wright is looked at as like a cornerback 8 or 7, when in fact he'd probably normally be a cornerback 3 in a draft. But we also have 2 high-end quarterbacks here. Desmond Ridder, a guy who's leading his team year after year, doesn't have much to prove. Accuracy concerns, sure. I think that his accuracy is not as bad as some other big contributors in this industry think they are. Carson Strong, somebody who has a lot of progression still to do. Don't think the Texans are the right spot for him. If you want to, I think Desmond Ridder would be a really good addition in the beginning of the second. He's going as high as number 10 overall, which I think is ridiculous. I don't think that's like a legit figure. But even another guy I'd look at, Tyke Smith, as well as DAXTON Hill, even Jaquan Brisker. I don't even know why I had a hard time saying that name. I know Jaquan Brisker. These guys are all really talented players. I love all these guys. DAXTON Hill is very similar to Jalen Catalon. I thought he was a little bit worse, but he's playing, honestly, like the games that I've watched of Daxton, he's actually playing really well against high-level competition. There's a lot to love about DAXTON Hill here. But that's kind of Justin Reed's role. I'm not going to be infringing on that. We're going to be going quarterback here, and honestly, it's a hard one between these two. I think Desmond Ridder is the guy who you can actually win some games with. Carson Strong has too much development to do right now. He is still too much of a first-read quarterback. He's not taking that jump. You can listen to Mike Renner. Actually, he had their talk show came out today, which is Thursday, so yesterday for you guys. And then you can see how even PFF is against Carson, and they were a huge, huge fan of Carson Strong. Still probably going to be a second-round pick, but right now, Desmond Ridder is the right pick. Also, Washington fans, you might be able to get him. I don't know. I don't even know what the hell is going to be happening in the next few picks. Again, you guys know this is a live draft. Ain't no BS with these pre-recorded BS stuff. So 36, you got the Lions here, and well, this is a good spot to get an edge player. Pretty sure that we did get an edge player. We got DeMarvin Leal here. So again, not an interior defensive lineman. He is 290, but man, if he sheds off like 10 pounds and gets more athletic, he's going to be like one of the biggest freaks ever. Already 11 pressures on the year. Big fan of him. And as well, you got Spencer Rattler, which a lot of people would think would get with the first pick. So we're sitting here. I think cornerback, I think getting Mikael Wright is the right move. Wide receiver is another one. I'm looking at Drake London here, Jahan Dotson. These two guys, man, because do we have a second round pick? This is the problem. I'm actually going to start doing 3 rounds again because I really want to see how this develops. I'm looking at guys like Justin Ross would be an interesting 3rd round target. But, man, the corners, you can't get much better than Mikael Wright at all down the line. I'm going to be honest, there's a big drop-off. Even Josh Jobe and Tywan Mullen are not that great. Damn. Because I think the wide receiver core is crap, but there's so many wide receivers out there in free agency. Get Mikael Wright here. There's a lot less talented corners, I believe, in the NFL than wide receivers because you see a lot of talented wide receivers get cut every year. There's going to be a lot more out there, even though free agency is going to be able to provide a lot of corners because this is a stacked free agency class for the cornerback position. Get somebody you're going to have on your roster for 4 years, and it's going to be cheap, and there's a high upside to Mikael Wright here. He has some down games, sure. That's why he's not a first-round pick. But, man, he's able to mirror and stick to someone's hip so well. I think that's worth taking here at the top of the second. Number 37, you get the New York Giants. We got ourselves Aiden Hutchinson, stud defensive end, as well as your quarterback, Malik Willis. So now I think we got to focus on the offensive line. I think we were talking about some dudes earlier, looking at Zion Nelson here, but Thayer Mumford would be an excellent guard choice. Like, legitimately, he'd be a really good right guard. I don't think Shane Lemieux should be your starting right guard. That's my genuine opinion. Thayer Mumford is a guard. He played really well at tackle, so that has the upside there. But he's playing an entire year at guard. It's the right move to go Thayer, or else we can go with a guy. Brandon Smith's not the guy I'm looking for. I'm looking for a guy. If you're going to be going for a pass coverage guy, you're going to go with Mike Jones Jr. here. But Henry To'oTo'o, these two guys, as well as the offensive line with Thayer Mumford, are the right moves. That's where you're going to be looking. But I think there's actually some talented not offensive tackles, talented linebackers down the line. I mean, even Jack Sanborn's good. Like, hell, Owen Popo, he was he was a fringe second rounder for me for a little bit. So you got talent down the line, very deep linebacker class. Tackle wise and guard wise, not so much. I'm looking here and it's like that. It's very, very thin. I don't like it at all. So get the best guard / tackle left on the board, which your team probably needs both. Thayer Munford out of the Ohio State University. There's a lot to like there. So I think it's worth taking a pick right there. Chicago's back on the board. So Chicago, you need offensive line like it's nobody's business. And you got a high-end player already. You've shown what you're looking for in a tackle with Tevin Jenkins. Big-ass dude, very powerful, doesn't have the best footwork. I'm looking at Trevor Penning and Daniel Failele for that. Zion Nelson's too light. Charles Cross is crap for what people think he is. Petit Ferrere, he's not big enough for me. I don't know. There's a lot to like about Petit Ferrere, but I don't think that he's a bear, to be honest. Daniel Failele is just too interesting for me right now. Trevor Penning, another guy, like you're thinking about this. You got these monstrosities. And to be honest, Daniel Failele is a lot better than people are saying. I just don't fully understand why people are against Failele. He has taken a year off, maybe not doing the best job in the world, but the guy's on Minnesota, right? They don't have really any weapons. No disrespect to Chris Ottman-Bell. They don't even have a running back anymore. Their quarterback, again, no disrespect to Tanner Morgan, is somebody who's not going to be an NFL caliber quarterback. Get Daniel Failele. It's worth taking the shot on because the Bears have nothing anyways. He's 6'8" or 6'9", 380 pounds. He lost 20 pounds. He's in better shape. Think about how Jordan Mailata was, but like progress Jordan Mailata to now and then project from there as if Jordan Mailata now was the rookie. I think that's what Daniel Failele is going to do. He has a lot of upside, guys. Just don't disrespect the fact that this dude could be unbelievable. He is 6'9" listed. It's not correct here, but he's also really young. It's just a perfect fit. I really think you have to take Daniel Failele and just see what the hell happens. Zion Nelson's another one I consider, but again, through draft history, you kind of have to see that the Bears are looking for a bigger dude with some athleticism. Failele is that type of freak. Ceiling is Mekhi Becton. There you go. Number 39, you got the Falcons. And the Falcons, this is going to be where we take a quarterback. But I think at this point, you really just need to help your defense. The edge talent here is really, really good. Like, this is where it is really good. Zach Harrison doesn't feel exactly like a guy that Pease would get. Myjai Sanders fits really well. Same thing with Drake Jackson. There's a lot of really good talents right here. Linebacker is another underrated need. I'm pretty sure you guys just paid did you guys just pay Aluakon? I know one of your linebackers, Deion Jones got paid. But you guys, somebody commented down below. It's like, dude, we do not pay linebackers. So we're paying one. We're not going to be paying large contract to the other. So we might be losing Aluakon right there, which means you might need an outside linebacker edge hybrid. Drake Jackson might just be too good to not take. Myjai Sanders having a really good year as well. It's a tough one right here. Zach Harrison is going to be a little bit bigger. Oh, this is a really tough one for me, guys. I think you take the upside in Drake Jackson. Myjai is really good, right? I just thought he looked a little lazy on the field. Drake Jackson at least has those upper echelon type of plays. I'm trying to think of the exact phrase that I would describe it. He has the upside that Myjai probably doesn't. He does disappear sometimes, but to be honest, if he ends up disappearing, he's a second-round pick, and it's the Falcons. No disrespect again, but y'all ain't making much pressure anyways. So Drake Jackson is going to be the pick right there. Number 40, you got the Bengals on the board. And Bengals, this is where you're taking another shot on an offensive lineman. Zion Nelson could certainly be it. I could see it. But Trevor Penning almost is too good to pass on. Just the upside. Super, super agile. I'm trying to see. I'm pretty sure he plays left tackle. I'm checking right now to see where Zion plays because he's a left tackle as well. So I was about to consider Zion Nelson there just because, you can go to a right tackle. I think Ferrari is actually a right tackle, if I'm not mistaken. He is. So there's actually quite a lot to like right here. You can take a shot on Penning, which I think I'm going to be doing right now anyways. But Ferrari, if you want to go for just a pure right tackle, go for it. I'm taking Penning here. You saw what happened last year with the UNI guy. I'm bugging on his name. He got drafted by the Bills, had like a 9.99 RAS score. Unbelievable athlete. And Penning's better. He's very athletic, super light on his feet. You can't get much worse than what the Bengals have at right tackle. So get Penning there and have some actual upside on this offensive line. You'll have two solid guards. You have Quentin Spain as well as Jackson Carman. You'll have Trey Hill there eventually starting, hopefully. There's a lot to potentially like about the future of this Bengals offensive line with Trevor Penning there. Number 41, you got the Eagles. And, well, the Eagles don't honestly have that much besides a linebacker to really get. And Henry To'oTo'o, to me, is one of the most underrated, disgustingly underrated linebackers in this draft. I'm taking him here. He is a dominant linebacker, extremely athletic, transferring from Tennessee. And, man, he is fun to watch. He is arguably as good as Christian Harris. And you want to know where Christian Harris went? 19. He went 19. He's going 41. This is a second-round pick for the Eagles. That is absolutely awesome. I love the pick, and honestly, I just cheers to the Eagles for being able to set themselves up like this. Now they fixed their entire defense, and did they get an offensive weapon in there as well? I'm checking out what the Eagles did. Yeah, they got their quarterback. They got Sam Howell along with Jordan Battle, Andrew Booth, and now also Henry To'oTo'o. This could be a monster team. Mike Jones would be interesting, but you're kind of in division with Zeke Elliott, Saquon Barkley, and then Antonio Gibson. You need someone who can tackle and doesn't have a 30% missed tackle rate. That's just something to think about. Henry To'oTo'o, absolute freak. And this is the pick. I did not force this. I promise you guys. It just popped in my mind. Carson Strong still here. Look at that. It's all good for you guys who might have been like being like, oh shit, we didn't get Carson Strong. I mean, we didn't get a quarterback at the first. We're screwed. No, Carson Strong actually has some upside, and he's not like Taylor Heineke. He's a guy who actually has some legit upside there, and he's a different style of quarterback, somebody who, honestly, in a couple of years, if you want to keep Taylor Heineke that long, could eventually be a franchise quarterback. So big fan of the potential right there for Carson Strong. You guys actually stole it. Good job to you. Steelers are sitting here, and man, we could have used a cornerback, and to be honest, Steelers would probably just take Roger McCreary in the second because we like to reach. But we do need a tackle like it's yesterday. I think Ferrari might be the right option here. Zion Nelson's just a left tackle. I don't know if we're ready to replace Dan Moore. And Charles Cross, I hope to God we don't take Charles Cross. I'm looking at the height as well, making sure, seeing like which guy's the best body comp. They're the exact same. So there's not really much to evaluate in terms of like, oh, because the Steelers like to draft dudes who are going to be more heavy. Let's just check out Dan Moore's like height and weight. We'll see how he looks. He's 315 pounds. So he's the exact same comp as Zion Nelson and Nicholas Petit-Frere. We need offensive tackle help. Dan Moore is actually not looking too shabby. We're going to draft an offensive tackle out of The Ohio State University, Nicholas Petit-Frere. And I think that's the right move. He's young as well. He's a super young tackle. He's been doing a really good job. Very under the radar. He's not getting enough hype. So, yeah, the Steelers desperately need it. They're going to be getting it. Colts are on the board. They need a tackle. And the problem is Myjai Sanders might be too good of an edge. They went edge back-to-back in this last year's class. We're going tackle again. We're going Zion Nelson. This is what I mean by the tackle class is not great. There's a lot of solid enough guys. That's why they're going to be going in the second. But just not good enough to be able to be first-round players. Zion Nelson would be a great fit. That's a desperation pick right there. If it was for the first round, I would have probably taken Sean Ryan at their first round pick. But of course, projecting Carson Wentz in place. Carson Wentz plays the rest of the season. Number 45, you got the Dolphins. And you know what? I don't care what shit I'm going to be getting from Broshmo. We're getting Brace Hall. He is the best running back in the draft class by a long shot. Anybody who says Isaiah Spiller does not know what they're talking about. Kyron Williams is pretty much a scat back. Eric Gray, okay. Zach Charbonnet, represent my boy, my friend. Still inconsistent right now. You got to have the right scheme for him to go off. Number 46, you got the Patriots, and the Patriots need absolutely nothing. So what's the best value on the board? Daxton Hill and Myjai Sanders, as well as Brandon Smith. To be honest, Brandon Smith wouldn't be a terrible pick here. I could see him going another wide receiver. You want to go after Jahan Dotson right there. I'm going to be going Daxton Hill. It kind of like they did just sign Jalen Mills to a 4-year deal, though. You are right. It's a tough one. This is I can see them trading out of this pick because Daxton Hill's here, and there are some teams that are looking for safety. I'm looking right here. The Saints could use some help at safety, if I'm not mistaken. This is a tough one. This is a real tough one. I'm trying to find teams that would actually want to move up because, again, there is Majai still on the board. A team I'm looking actually. How did the Chargers do last? They got Tyler Linderbaum. Chargers could actually want to move up here and select Bijai. He'd be a really good fit. I think that's what we're gonna do. Chargers are gonna be moving up. They're gonna be a little bit aggressive right here. The San Diego, formerly San Diego Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers are making a move up with the Patriots, offering a 4th-round pick. Actually, we're gonna try to see if we can get a 5th and get a 6th in return. That seems fair. That seems fair. Going for a 5th and then getting that type of 6th-round pick in return. Okay, that's BS. You all know that's BS. If you're moving up that many spots, you can't drop less spots in the 6th round. We're gonna do that out of fairness. And it's not cool to pretty much screw over the Patriots. And they're gonna be selecting Myjai Sanders. Don't know how the hell that happened. Again, I don't plan this out. It just happens. You look for the best guys, and guys fall, which steals them from the Jets as well. So cheers to the Chargers for being able to fill a very big need spot in Uchenna Nwosu. Not your guy. This is a good spot for Daxton Hill, to be honest. I don't know if Marcus May is going to be returning. And Zach Harrison's still on the board, though. Somebody who we could take at this spot. Tight end is another one. Like, this could be where you see your first tight end. Weidermeyer, it's tough to say who's going to be the best. Jeremy Rucker is not the best in this class. Jaleel Billingsley still, he's not having enough of a target output. If I'm going to be pushing Josh Wiley down, we're going to be pushing Jaleel Billingsley down. Isaiah Likely is just a stud, but again, he's not playing good enough talent. This is a good spot for us to go after another edge talent, but like, shoot, what do we do? This is a really interesting spot because we could go Daxton Hill here and get an elite potential. He has 4 threes. Yeah, we're going to go with it. We're going to go Daxton Hill here. You know, safety is definitely something that you might not need because you got Hamza Nasir-Al-Din in the last draft, but Marcus May might not stay, especially since he's proven that he's a solid safety. There are teams that will probably be looking for them. We're going to go Daxton Hill here. I think it is best player available. Tight end, again, you can find them a dime a dozen at this point. And this draft has a lot of really good ones that are going to be deep. Also stealing them from the Vikings. But again, Daxton's not really the big hitter. This one, I'm just saying, this seems like a really fucking cool fit. I really like Jaquan Brisker on this team. I really do. He's a big hitting safety, man. He's going to be a great strong. You could look at linebacker at Brandon Smith. Like, either of these guys, I don't think Mike Jones is right. I don't think that's the right move. Man, I'm just saying, I really like this fit. I really do. Jaquan Brisker at this spot. Excuse me. That's where I'm going. I love Jaquan Brisker at that spot. He's just a much more aggressive safety, a perfect replacement for Anthony Harris. And I know Xavier Woods, if I'm not mistaken, is the guy who is right now doing a pretty good job. But you go for the upside in the draft. This is a guy who can actually sit for a year if you want him to and just grow and develop. Jaquan Brisker is so worth it. This spot with the Seahawks, we're going Zach Harrison or Brenton Cox. Brenton Cox seems like such a Seahawk. Brenton Cox is actually pretty damn good. But I think that we're going to be going with the upside here. Zach Harrison eating it up off the edge. Edge help is needed desperately in this team. And given the size, I think he can honestly play a little bit of the interior if you want him to. There's just a lot to like about what Zach Harrison could be. Number 50, you got the Raiders, finally not at number 32 overall. So we got a corner in the first round. Did we get Ahmad Gardner? That'd be kind of nice. We got Darian Kendrick, which honestly kind of makes sense. I'd be considering a wide receiver at this spot. Drake London, he's falling, and you guys know how much I love Drake London. He's going to be in my top 25 players. I don't know if you really need that. Linebacker is something I am looking at, though. Brandon Smith is a great fit here. You guys have a lot of interior defensive linemen that are on short-term deals. I don't think you need to go after that. Brandon Smith has the most upside out of the rest of these linebackers. Again, you just can't miss tackles and be drafted high. Brandon Smith out of Penn State, you need linebacker help. You got 2 big free agency hits, and they just have not panned out. Sometimes you just got to say, hey, we got to prepare for the future. Brandon Smith, Penn State, got to lock it in. Number 51, you got the Denver Broncos. And you know what? This is an interesting one. I'm looking at Tyke Smith here. Tyke Smith would be a really good slot. He's not safety. He's like a slot safety. He'd be a really good replacement if you guys don't get to keep Callahan, which I just don't know if you can. Looking at the guys who are on the board, man, wouldn't it be fun just to get a guy like Jahan Dawson, Adam to this like already loaded wide receiver group? Obviously, we're not going to be doing that. Tackles are already all taken. Go to free agency for that shit. I'm honestly going to be going that route. I think Tyke Smith can work as a safety if you want him to. I think you guys have enough safeties at this point, but he works really well as a slot corner. And honestly, if he sits in one more year, that is going to be perfectly fine. Tyke Smith has a lot of potential. Big fan of him. Number 52, the Saints. Honestly, corner is not good right now. But you know what it is? You still got wide receiver. You still got Drake London on the board. We just got ourselves Garrett Wilson. Get Drake London too. Get a big towering threat on the outside. He's so good. He deserves, like, this is just best player available. You really need to help out Jameis. There's nothing there. So get Drake London. Get yourself Garrett Wilson. And now you have Michael Thomas as well. You got a route runner after the catch, as well as a guy who's also big and after the catch. There's a lot to like of what you can have here. This is going to be your Mike Evans style receiver. Not really Mike Evans, but somebody you can lob it up to, and you'll have excellent hands. Big fan of Drake Jackson there, right? Drake London. See, I made that mistake too. Broshman was talking about how he said Drake Jackson and went Drake London. Regardless, 53, we got the Patriots back on the board. Patriots could go anywhere they want and they'll be okay. I think tight end wouldn't be a horrible idea, not a good one. I really want to get rid of some of these tight ends because I think this when they go. Linebacker could be something they do go after though, because they did bring on, if I'm not mistaken, Raekwon McMillan for a 1-year deal. Not sure if he lasted, but when in doubt, if you have a guy who can't tackle, send him Belichick's way. I think it's just best player available, Mike Jones Jr. He's going to know how to make that work out. I think the edge group is honestly solid, and the defensive front solid enough. Getting the help in the linebacking core is probably the best thing to do. Because again, the corners are not good right now. Sorry to the Cardinals, but they're not good. Just go to free agency. There's a shit ton of them out there. At this spot, though, we need to get a tight end for this team. Jalen Weidemeyer can actually block as well, which is part of Cliff Kingsbury's scheme. He can actually block pretty damn well. I think Isaiah Likely is much more that slot receiver you're looking for. Same thing with Jaleel Billingsley. Josh Wiley. Sorry, I keep going to Isaiah Likely. Josh Wiley's not that great at run blocking. I'm not that big of a fan of Jeremy Ruckert. He's really good at it, but I think Jalen Weidemeyer has the most upside for this scheme. It sucks. Yes. It's just not a deep corner core. It's not a deep corner class, guys. I'm looking at guys down here, and yeah, you got Storm Duck, THT, who are good, Joey Porter Jr. These are guys that you take late like you did last year. Sometimes you just miss out on the top talent, and that's okay. It's fine to miss out on the top talent. I'm trying to see what we did. We got Adam Anderson as well as Jalen Weidemeyer. Those are two really good weapons. Be happy about that. Number 55, you got the Falcons. Oh, this is a weird spot because you need help everywhere, to be honest. Quarterback's not good enough at this point. I think Jahan Dotson wouldn't be too shabby. You think about it. You got Calvin Ridley as well as Kyle Pitts. And then, after that. No disrespect, of course, to Russell Gage. But he's not a true number 2 receiver. Jahan Dotson's kind of worth this pick. George Pickens could be a really good boundary threat as well. I just don't think after tearing his ACL, he's going to be drafted that highly. I think Jahan Dotson's worth just having a fun shot on. Like, again, just give Matt Ryan something to push the defense down. The people were scared shitless of Julio. They had to create an umbrella to make sure that he didn't get past him. You have that with Jahan Dotson, man. You don't have it with anybody else at this point. Kyle Pitts is probably the best one that you can do that with. Get Jahan Dotson in there. Have some fun. You got the Cowboys. I think, is there still an edge on the board that would be a good fit? Honestly, there's actually still a lot of really good edges. I would look at Brenton Cox Jr. here as a really good addition to your squad. Safety, I don't know how long you have these guys. I think most of them are on 1-year contracts, but you can look at Bubba Bolden here as a good option. I don't know anything about Verone McKinley III. Cannot give you guys an honest opinion on that. Josh Proctor kind of sucks. So, oof. I would look maybe if you wanted to see if you can replace I'm blanking on people's names today. Michael Gallup, then probably looking for a guy like maybe I'm looking Romeo Doubs, Jalen Tolbert would be the right move. You guys are gonna hate me getting tight end. I already know it. You guys are gonna hate that pick so much. But it's like it's the best guy on the board. Like these are the best players on the board. Edge, yeah, Edge could be worth it though. I think Nolan Smith is doing actually a pretty damn good job here as well. He's very underrated, and he's been doing. I'm pretty sure he's been doing as good as Azeez Ojulari. Nolan Smith's been getting a lot of sacks, so we're gonna be taking a shot here on Nolan Smith, who's gonna be playing that exact same role as what I said in Azeez Ojulari in the first. Have some fun, have some potential there. Nolan Smith, Georgia, light it up. Number 57. Wow, I was about to be like, oh no, it's only 37. We're already at 57. We got the San Francisco 49ers saying you guys need cornerback help like it's no tomorrow. I'm probably just going to be looking at Roger McCreary as a potential option. He's old, but, it's better than nothing. This is where need is so bad. Like the Cardinals need somebody pretty damn badly. I don't think anybody needs a corner as badly as the Niners do. So we're going to be going Roger McCreary here. Seems like a Niners type of guy as well. Fast, really good coverage corner. Just he's a bit older, so that's why I'm pushing him to the end of the second. At number 58, you got the Packers, and there's still some really good guys on the board. You got Nakobe Dean here, which is probably someone I'm going to take. And it is somebody I'm going to take. You have Devondre Campbell as I believe a starter on this offense on the linebacking core. You gotta get some help there. Devondre Campbell is not going to be able to lift this defense to what it needs to be. Nakobe Dean's been lighting it up for Georgia as well. Another guy who's been getting a lot of pressure. So big fan of the potential Nakobe Dean right there. 59, you got the Brownies. Brownies, we just took all the damn good linebackers. There's nothing left for you. Owen Popo is somebody next round you can get. This is a good spot to look at Perrion Winfrey or Haskell Garrett here. Perrion Winfrey, he is sub 300. I'm checking their weights right now versus 300 pounds. What they do. I think Perrion Winfrey has been tearing it up a little bit. Been doing a good job this year. Somebody who you can add to the inside and just, build that defensive front more and more. The rest of the team is stacked, so just have some fun. The Ravens are on the board. And honestly, Brenton Cox seems like a Raven. But corner help, man, it sucks, doesn't it? I think going another receiver wouldn't be too terrible at this spot. Tight end, you could definitely go another tight end because you should probably have somebody behind Mark Andrews. But, Jeremy Ruckert is not worth this pick. I know there's a lot of people who really like Jeremy Ruckert. I like Jaleel Billingsley a little bit more. I think he'd be a good fit on the squad. Brenton Cox would be a good addition as well. It's a tough one because I honestly don't think the Ravens need that much besides healthy running backs. And they already have them, and I'm not drafting another one for them. So, given their disposition, we haven't gone offensive tackle for me. Wow. I did not know that. They like a bigger dude, so I don't think that anybody's going to be fitting into that category right here. Even Abina Eze. Oh, wow, Rosenthal is actually huge. I'm just checking this out just to see. Abraham Lucas is much bigger than he plays. We're not going to be drafting that here. I think actually we go for the best player on the board with most potential, George Pickens. Get him and Rashad Bateman as your bigger targets. You look at Lamar Jackson, he has a hard time hitting as well as sometimes his receivers have a hard time catching these balls that he throws. So get bigger dudes with much bigger catch radii. And George Pickens is the guy where he's going to be lighting up in the combine. Have some fun. It's a big target. I believe he's 6'3". He is. And he's young. So have some fun. Go after it. Bills. Oh boy, Bills. I'm pretty sure we went offensive lineman for you guys. Who do we go with? Jackson Kirkland to play that guard/tackle role. That was honestly, in my opinion, a great pick. This is another spot where you need a corner too. And there's not enough corners here. Edge talent, you can get some extra help. Don't really think that's much of a need. I think Haskell Garrett is going to be the guy you need the most. They're considering moving Gregory Rousseau to the inside. Haskell Garrett is a guy who is the most productive interior defensive lineman, arguably in the class. So very, very talented player out of the Ohio State University. I'm pretty sure last year he had like close to 25% pressure rate, which is ridiculous. So a big fan of Haskell Garrett right there. Rams are on the board. Fine. The Rams are on the board. Linebacker is a position I'd look at. Again, we already went over this. There's not really that much there. Owen Popo is probably the guy who I'd draft next. I'm not a huge fan of Marvion Overshown. Offensive tackle, honestly, Charles Cross could be the right move at this point. We're not going to disrespect him any further. I'm always going to go offensive line for the Rams. You guys know that. The Rams, they need help extra on the offensive line, and we're going to give it to them. Number 63, you got the Buccaneers. And you know what? We lost out on all the interior defensive linemen. So we're not going to be going back that route. We go Jalen Catalan on this team? I think we did. Let's go for the guy with the most upside. So I'm looking around. I'm seeing maybe we can get an offensive lineman here. Tight end, I'm pretty sure you got, I think OJ Howard might be coming up on a contract. So it wouldn't be a terrible idea. John Mechie is not as terrible as like some people think he is, including myself. But I think this is the right time to get a running back. And you know what? I'm going to show some representation. Zach Charbonnet could be a legit monster in this league. I think he'd be a great Leonard Fournette style back. I think Leonard Fournette's going to actually want to make some money. So Zach Charbonnet is going to be that Leonard Fournette replacement for you guys. Number 64, in the last pick of the second round, you got the Chiefs on the board. And they need some help. But you know what? There's one guy left who I think could make that difference. Brenton Cox, but man, he is light. They do like the bigger ass dudes. Damn, that kind of sucks because you got to think about scheme fit here. Brent Cox isn't really a scheme fit. Oof, linebacker. They've already gone linebacker so many times. I was ready to just end this off like easy. I don't think a Caleb Evans is worth this pick. Martin Emerson could be, but this is a weird spot. The team needs so much help. I think they're going to be willing to get out of what they want and go for something that they need. Brenton Cox Jr. going to be the pick. So that is the draft, everybody. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see y'all on the far side. Peace.